Well, at the end of the day, Champions League football's back. United have got to win this group game, otherwise they're back in the Europa League. Well, obviously. Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. I hope you're all having a fantastic Monday afternoon. Hope you're all having a good start to the week. Hope you're all having a good day. And I hope you're all looking forward to the end of November as we enter the beginning of December and Christmas is nearly upon all of us. Hope you're all good. First of all, do a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put that notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 for more Fortnite, Rocket League, F1 23, Fall Guys, more previews, more match reactions, and much more brand stuff planned for the last few weeks remaining in 2023 on United Red Devils 20, and we've got some exclusive Christmas content coming up in the next few weeks and in the next few days as well. Good afternoon to everybody, all you legends, all you legendary people, and all you amazing people on this channel and on this community, and welcome to your UEFA Champions League preview between Galatasaray and Manchester United on match day 5 of the 23-24 UEFA Champions League group stages phases of the competition, where this is a must-win game for Manchester United on Wednesday night. It is a 5:45 even away kickoff on match day 5 of the group stage, and Man United are away to Galatasaray. Especially knowing the hostile atmosphere Turkey always provides when Galatasaray or either Fenerbahce, either both playing at home. It is always a hostile atmosphere going into Turkey for a club from England, and Manchester United are going to have it right up against them on Wednesday, where this is a must-win. If United fail to win or even a draw, Manchester United, unfortunately, are going to be knocked straight back into Europa League for the rest of this remaining season, where the potential of turning the season around will be an absolute nightmare, because United would then face having to play Thursday night and every Sunday for the rest of this remaining season for Manchester United. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Manchester United can rescue this Champions League group and still get through to the knockout stages, where, it is a must-win on Wednesday. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. If United fail to win, the ultimate nightmare of Europa League football will return to Old Trafford. I don't think no one wants that. I don't think one Manchester United fan or one Manchester United supporter will want us being back in Europa League, where even trying to win that or even trying to survive in that is not an easy competition, because at the moment, if you're looking at the Europa League, there is some very, very good teams still in it, and a lot of teams are playing very, very well in that competition. And I think Manchester United, the way they played against Everton yesterday, which was a very, very easy and quite a substantial 3-0 victory at Goodison Park yesterday evening, I do believe Man United will have the confidence from yesterday's result to take to Turkey on Wednesday and find a rescuing, savouring Champions League away win in Turkey against Galatasaray, who obviously won the reverse fixture at Old Trafford over nearly a month ago. So Manchester United have got to save themselves. Otherwise, it's Europa League football, and I think that will be a nightmare for Ten Hag, and I think for me, it would be an absolute blow to try and get back into it next season, where United at the moment are in a good reign of form. We are still unbeaten in our last few Premier League games, and we are the most in-form team. We picked up 15 points out of our last 18. We've only lost one game on our last 6. So I do believe Man United are going to turn this season around. Yes, it's been one of those seasons that most people of Man United will want to forget, because at the start, there was a lot of optimism, there was a lot of hope, there was a lot of belief that Man United was going to be our season, that we finally regain the Premier League title, retain the Carabao Cup, and obviously do well in the UEFA Champions League. And it simply hasn't come true in either of those 3 competitions. And I think for me, Manchester United have got to aim to win this game. I don't want to be back in the Europa League. You don't want to be back in the Europa League. And I think Man United have got a job to do Wednesday. And I am feeling confident after yesterday. Yes, it is only Everton, and yes, they are fighting against their lives to survive relegation from the Premier League, and they are, having a massive upheaval following their 10 points deduction, which has set themselves second in the Premier League bottom 3. But I think Man United did play very well yesterday. We were massively the better team in both halves of the game. And I do believe with the quality we've got and the quality we showed yesterday, especially with all 3 goals we scored, I do believe Man United will get a very convincing win. Galatasaray, if you look at the last fixture in the group stage, they couldn't even beat Bayern Munich. So Man United really should have won the return fixture at Old Trafford. We should have won that game at home, and Man United really would have got out this group alive in second place, would have been an automatic qualifying to get into the knockout. So this is a must win, because otherwise we're out. And I don't think anyone wants to see Man United in Europa League again, especially with the quality that is in that competition, because a lot of big teams are going to go out the Champions League in the next few weeks. So I don't think Man United will be able to even win the Europa League. So I don't think the quality is there to be able to do it. And I think for me, you look at the strength of Liverpool, you look at the strength of Brighton, and you look at the strength of West Ham in the Europa League. All three teams are playing some magnificent football in Europe. And for me, all three of them are a big, big threat for Manchester United if we were to get back knocked down into the Europa League. And I think Man United would find it difficult to even win both legs, because, you know, you're going to be playing some very big teams in Europe. And Man United have really struggled to get out of this group. And I did say to people, look, this group's going to be difficult. This Champions League group isn't, you know, going to be as easy as what people think it is. And unfortunately, it has come true. And like I said, I told you so. Manchester United were put into a group of death. People told me, you've only got FC Copenhagen, you've only got Galatasaray, and you've only got Bayern Munich. You will be winning this group. You'll be automatically qualifying for the knockouts. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. Man United are really going to struggle in this group. And like I said before, ages ago, a few weeks ago, when, you know, the Champions League group stage draw happened, that when Man United were drawn against Bayern Munich, I said straight away then that going into Group A with them, the German champions that are ripping up the Bundesliga, especially with the quality of Harry Kane, Kingsley Coman, you look at that bloody Bayern Munich team now, and I knew it was going to be difficult to get out of the group, but I couldn't imagine Man United would find themselves, you know, still in this position where this is a make or break game again. This could potentially make our season where we are, because if we do get back into Europa League, is anyone really feeling confident Man United can win it? Is anyone feeling that Man United would be the strongest team left in the Europa League? Or do people believe that Man United would go on and win the whole competition because of the quality of players and squad we've got? But at the moment, we can't really handle Europa League football, and I think it would absolutely kill us. I honestly think if you're playing Thursday, Sunday, it would kill the momentum of the squad, because you're playing nearly 3-4 days in a row. So I don't think Europa League football would help Man United with the situation. At the moment, they find themselves in the Premier League. They're still in the top 6. We've gone nearly 3 or 4 games unbeaten in the league in a row, and we are looking stronger and stronger. Ten Hag said it yesterday that Man United now are looking a lot more stronger than what they did at the start of the season. And Man United at the moment are looking a lot stronger than what we were in the last 3 weeks. And I'm feeling confident United will turn this season around. And I think, you know, going into the Champions League, these players know what the task lies upon them. They're going to have to go to Turkey, and they're going to have to win. The atmosphere at Galatasaray's Turk Telekom Stadium is going to be absolutely monumental. Like, the fans and the supporters of Galatasaray in Turkey, they are absolutely ruthless as anything. I mean, the atmosphere in their grounds is electric. Like, it's going to be very, very hostile atmosphere for Man United, and I hope that doesn't get to the players in the squad that are playing on Wednesday. And I'm hoping they can take that atmosphere, ignore it, and just play the football I know we can play. Because, like I said yesterday, I thought we were a better team. We deserve to beat Everton. They're fighting relegation. And I know people can say, well, it's only Everton. Of course, you're going to win that game. But, you know, United have been so unlucky this season. We've been so lethargic and so inconsistent that anything can happen at Man United Football Club. The inconsistency is still very much there. And people are still scraping the surface trying to find fault from yesterday's game. And there wasn't not much to fault. We were actually very, very strong. We were the better team. And for me, we created most of the best opportunities we got. And we scored 3 goals. This is our most emphatic away game we've had under Ten Hag as our manager. So that is a lot more positive than negative than what people are trying to imagine. And I think, you know, the confidence from yesterday, it will inspire these players to turn this Champions League campaign around. I think they all know that you're going to go back into Europa League. You're then going to have to try and win it. And even trying to win the Europa League, people say, oh, the Europa League is piss easy to win. It's absolutely not. The Champions League from the Europa League, it's both different quality on both sections of the draw. And both competitions offer a difference in quality. So I think Man United need to be aiming to, you know, rescue Wednesday, win again on Wednesday night, get themselves into second place in the group. And then you're going to have to hope Bayern Munich then do us a favour by beating FC Copenhagen in Germany on Wednesday night as well. But maybe Bayern Munich might do FC Copenhagen a favour. Maybe, you know, Bayern Munich have already won the group. they've got through to the knockout rounds, they're going to finish first, and maybe they will rest and rotate much of their squad, because they could do Man United an injustice by playing a very weakened team against FC Copenhagen, let Copenhagen get an unlikely point or an unlikely win, and then Man United, if we win Wednesday night, it might not matter, because if FC Copenhagen go to Germany and get an unlikely win, which is, it's still very much unlikely that Copenhagen will go to Bayern in Germany and get a result there. I mean, at the Allianz Arena, Bayern Munich are on another bloody level. I mean, the acquisition of Harry Kane is absolutely put Bayern Munich the favourites to win this Champions League. And I think they could. I really think Bayern Munich could win the European Cup. I think they could win the Champions League with the football they're playing. I mean, the addition of Harry Kane has set them on their way. And as soon as they signed Harry Kane, I knew that Bayern Munich were going to be a danger. I mean, if Man United would have got Harry Kane, we might have been in a lot better position than what we find ourselves in now. So I think Man United know that the threat of Harry Kane, if he does play Wednesday night for Bayern, he might do FC Copenhagen a lot of damage and score a few good more goals. So United can't rely on the Bayern Munich result. Man United have got to set themselves on themselves. They can't afford to be taking their focus away from their own game. They know they're in a difficult position. They know it's going to be a tough game Wednesday. And they know that if you don't come away with anything from Turkey, you're going to get back on that plane to Manchester. And when you've got a big game against Newcastle the weekend after, you know that if you lose these next two games, the absolute critics are going to be in the firing line of Ten Hag and these players. And I think yesterday, there is still a lot of improvement. There's still a lot of players that, for me, that don't deserve to be playing for this club. But defensively yesterday, I think United were really, really good. Like, I know I've had a lot of times I've said that I don't really trust Maguire. I don't trust Lindelof. I don't trust Delo. And at times, I really, really do not trust Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But I think yesterday we were very, very defensively strong. I know in the first half, we did concede a lot of chances before the end of the first half, before the referee blew his whistle. And, United got in that dressing room, luckily 1-0 up. And I think if United would have lost this game yesterday, I would have been saying today that this is a must-win now to keep Ten Hag's job, because he's already facing a lot of critics. He's facing a hell of a lot of pressure from the pundits and rival fans, and the pressure of certain sports channels and certain sports journalists. But at the end of the day, Ten Hag is doing his job. Ten Hag is doing what he can to get Man United back to where they would be. And he's not trying to get them to play like Ajax. He has come here to try and find an identity for Man United that long after Ten Hag, Man United can carry on that with that philosophy and carry on with the football we want to play. And I think at the moment, if you're looking at our last 6 games, we've only lost once. And I think for me, if someone had told me you would have only lost 1 game in your last 6, I would have bitten your hand off, because that is actually very good. I know that game we lost to was the Manchester derby, but if you can win Wednesday, you've only lost 1 game out of your last 7. So that is a massive turnaround for Man United, where we were a few weeks ago, where we lost to Man City, we got knocked out the Carabao Cup, and then we started scraping against Brentford and Sheffield United and Luton. And I think for me, the players, yes, they were probably given a massive kick at the backside saying, look, we need to pile on the pressure of Everton's demise. You need to take the pressure off yourself, because Everton need it a lot more than what we do. And Everton are in a lot more difficult situation than what we are in. Like, you look at Man United or Everton, it's night and day. And then if you look at Man United Galatasaray, it is night and day. We should have won the reverse fixture at Old Trafford. If we'd have won that game, we would have had 3 more points better in this group, and we wouldn't be sat bottom of our group. Like, we've been bottom of our group more than bottom of the bloody ocean. Like, at the moment, United are in a difficult position in this group, where you're not just relying on your own result, but you're relying on everyone else around them to fail. And I think if United do win and then FC Copenhagen win, then it is going to be an absolute shootout between Copenhagen and then Manchester United to get second in this group. And if we don't get out this group, a lot of pundits are going to say it is an embarrassment, it is a joke. But I called it when we got put in this group. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be hell to get out this group. You've got Bayern Munich in there. You've got the champions of Denmark. You've got the champions of Turkey. And people are telling me, this is a piss easy group. I completely and utterly disagree. Galatasaray deserved to beat us at home. FC Copenhagen deserved to beat us at home when we played them away. Like, we've lost 6 points out of those 2 games. We've actually lost 9 points as a whole, because we've only won 1 Champions League game. And for me, that ain't bloody good enough. At Man United, you need to be setting yourselves up to be rewarded. And I did say, like, it's going to be a difficult campaign for Manchester United, and it's been proved right that the football we've been playing in some of those games, like, we should have beat Copenhagen away. We should have beaten Galatasaray at home. If Man United would have won both those games, we'd have been comfortably second in this group. We could have gone into Wednesday with the pressure off, but the pressure is very much on because they know Man United are going to be entering the cooker. They're going to be entering into the firing line on Wednesday night. Going to Turkey is not easy. Galatasaray at home are very, very good, but they do play some very good football. And if you look at the season they've had so far in the Turkish Super League, it's going to be a difficult game. And Galatasaray are going to be up for this because they know they've got the players of Lucas Torreira, Wilfried Zaha, Mario Icardi. I mean, Galatasaray have actually got some very good players and they've recruited very, very well. And I did say that they're not going to be an easy team to beat Galatasaray. They're not going to be pushovers like people think they're going to be. It's going to be a nightmare. And truth to be told, it has been. We should have won the home game, but because we were defensively shit and we were all over the place, and at times Manchester United were at least at 6s and 7s, Man United paid the price, and Galatasaray picked us off. And I think, if Man United would have won that game, look where we could have been. Look what we could have won. We would have been second in this group. Pressure's off Wednesday. If we get a point, we're through to the knockouts. But we're now facing the prospect of having to beat Galatasaray, and then you have to beat Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. And, both those things, people say, well, after what we saw yesterday, we couldn't win those both games. But at the moment, United can play well, and then it goes backwards after another game. And I think that's where we've gone wrong this season. We've been too much inconsistent. We've won one game, and then the next game, it's been an absolute car crash. That's what it's been. And people need to realise that United's inconsistency is going to pick them off. And I did say this would happen. And a lot of people say, well, United are going to be fine. It's going to be a good season. I've looked at every aspect of this team. I look at this squad. With the amount of injuries we've got and with the amount of players we need and we haven't got, Man United are going to fail to get to this till January with this squad. And truth to be told, again, no Lisandro Martinez, no Ahmad, no Casemiro, no Ericsson, no Anthony, no Højlund. The amount of injuries this club has got is badly cost us. I remember when Liverpool won the league one year that the year after they had so many bloody injuries, and look what happened. They didn't retain the title. And they didn't even they really, really struggled because the amount of injuries that club picked up. And I feel for Liverpool because at the end of the day that when they won the league, they absolutely deserved it. They were the better team. They were the team to beat that season. And if you look at it now, the year after the season after they won the league, it was a bloody nightmare for them, and they really, really struggled. That was down to the amount of injuries they had and the amount of suspensions they also had as well. And, Liverpool got picked off in the season after as champions. They got absolutely brutally destroyed by the opposition. And Man United, I think, for me, are having that same type of season Liverpool had then. The amount of injuries is going to cost us. The amount of suspensions is going to cost us. And if you think Wednesday night that people are going to think Rashford's going to play, well, unfortunately, Marcus Rashford won't be playing Wednesday night. So it's going to be a very, very different front three again from what we saw yesterday. And for me, you're going to have to pray that, whatever front three Ten Hag goes with, he's going to have to pick at least a decent lineup to go with. Because if you think about it, we've got all those injuries I've said a minute ago. And then you've got no Marcus Rashford because he picked up a red card against FC Copenhagen away. We lost 4-3 and it was a really bad tackle for Marcus Rashford. And it was an absolute red card. There's no injustice about that decision from the referee. People think, Rashford will play Wednesday. Unfortunately, that ain't going to happen because he has been given a one match suspension. So it's going to be, a very, very different front three again from what we saw yesterday. And you're wondering, if Rasmus isn't available and you've got no Højlund, then you are stuck with Pellistri and Garnacho, because even Martial might have to play again Wednesday. I know I looked at the team yesterday and I really struggled to see why Martial and Pellistri were still getting some game time, and I was struggling to see why Rashford was put down the middle ahead of Garnacho on the left. But it did kind of work yesterday, putting Garnacho on that left and playing Rashford down Rashford played down on the right, so he was on the right wing. So again, you haven't really got the right winger that we kind of need on that right wing Wednesday, because Anthony, again, yesterday was unavailable due to a muscle problem. So if you've got no Anthony and obviously Rashford is suspended, you're then left with Garnacho Pellistri, and Martial. Is that front three really strong enough to go with Wednesday? I would say no, because you'd wonder yet again. I know Martial scored, and people, again yesterday, especially Gary Neville, said that Martial in those situations one-on-one with Pickford, he's absolutely ruthless. Like, I don't know what Gary Neville has been watching recently regarding Man United, but you're thinking Martial is the answer to our goal scoring problems, and that Martial in those situations is brilliant and he can score goals and he can put the ball in the net. He only put the ball in the net because it was a great ball from Bruno Fernandes, our Portuguese Magnifico. That was the only reason that goal went in, is because of the pass that was originally played from Fernandes to put Martial in a one-on-one situation, and you knew that was guaranteed to go into the back of the net. So for me, I would say that if you ain't got Rashford, it's going to cause problems. It's going to be a bad way for United to find where your goals are going to come from. But maybe Rasmus gets fit for Wednesday. Maybe he plays Wednesday. Maybe he comes back into the team. Maybe he becomes available from injury. But it depends, again, like how bad this hamstring injury from Højlund's got. So if it's bad, then I can't see him playing again Wednesday. So Ten Hag is facing an absolute selection nightmare with players unavailable, because you look at the midfield, you've got no Eriksen, you've got no Mount, you've got no Casemiro, all bloody injured. So again, yesterday, you might see the same midfield. You're going to see Bruno Fernandes, you're going to see Scott McTominay, and I don't know who else played in midfield. It was McTominay, Fernandes. I can't remember who else played in that midfield yesterday, because it wasn't Casemiro. Eriksen was out. I was trying to think who started in that midfield yesterday. I can't remember who started in midfield three, but it's going to be difficult for Ten Hag to pick a strong team, because he hasn't got the options available to him that he's desperately crying out for. And again, that's a sympathy note for Ten Hag, that I feel bad for the guy. I feel sorry for him, because if he'd have had a full strength team available, I think United would have won that game by 6 or 7 goals yesterday. And there was goals to be had against Everton. They were defensively shambolic, and at times were at 6s and 7s. And luckily, they didn't have the goals in them to put the ball into the back of Onana's net. So I think United, like I said, if you're gonna have to try and pick a team, it's going to be difficult with the options unavailable to Ten Hag. So again, it could be a nightmare Wednesday. We could go there and we could get destroyed, because I think if the weaknesses in that team are going to show, it will come. It was Kobe Manu, wasn't it? So, Ten Hag might go with the same midfield that played yesterday, but I think for me, I know we're not going to see Eriksen. I know we're not going to see Casemiro. And I know we're not going to see Mount. We will want all three of them back in this squad ASAP when they're all fit. But would I change much from the midfield? Yes, I think the only one for me that would really come in, I think for me, I would probably bring Amrabat in for McTominay, because again yesterday, I just don't think McTominay's working in this team for Man United. I think lately McTominay has not been the player that people are hyping up to be, and I think McTominay as a whole is not a player that everybody thinks he's going to be. I just don't think he's good enough, and I think if you've got the option of Amrabat over McTominay, I would have to go Amrabat, because he's got that European experience. I mean, he got to Europa Conference League final with Fiorentina last season, and they only lost to West Ham 2-1. So at the end of the day, I would rather go with experience over non-experience. I don't think McTominay yesterday really added anything to any quality that was shown yesterday. And he didn't play 90 minutes, so there's a clear indication there that I don't think Ten Hag rates McTominay, and I can see why he doesn't rate McTominay. He simply isn't good enough. And I think for me, defensively at times, if you're playing him at the CDM position or you're putting Kobe Manu there, you've got a very inexperienced 18-year-old who, won our under 18 player of the year last season, which has shown why he was phenomenal yesterday. I would rather have someone a bit more experienced ahead of McTominay to make Kobe Manu's game a lot more comfortable. And, Kobe Manu yesterday was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't believe the quality he's got in him. I mean, as an 18-year-old midfielder, to do what he did yesterday, it shows a lot of guts, it shows a lot of talent, and it shows a lot of experience that he's already got at such a young age. And I think for me, he's going to be an absolute superstar in the making. I think Kobe Manu has got the game to go up to the next level. And I think for me, he could become our next Roy Keane because he made his gameplay yesterday so easy to watch. It was so key to the eye. It was so attractive, the style he was producing in that United midfield, because we've been lacking that all season with the amount of times we've tried to rotate the midfield and the amount of options we've had. It's not worked. But as soon as Kobe Manu came into that team, it made the game a lot more comfortable to watch because, he was pinging passes and making decent through balls that, we've not seen from that United midfield. And I think that is why we won that game. I think, solely down to Kobe Manu's phenomenal role at CDM. This is a player that has got bags and bags of talent in him who's going to take his game up to the next level. And if Kobe Manu keeps producing that type of football, he's going to come. Big teams are going to come after him and they're going to want to sign him. So I think Man United really have got a player here who's got the ability to become an absolute world-class midfielder. And I think he's got it in him. Yesterday, you look at the role he did in midfield. If he can produce that on Wednesday, we could see a good result here. We could really see Man United go up another level with Kobe Manu in that midfield three. So I think for me, the only change I would make, I'd bring Amrabat in. I think Amrabat, again, if the rumours are true that United aren't going to make the signing permanent, it does worry me why we brought Amrabat in the first place. He's one of my favourite players. I love the guy. I can't understand why he's been limited to so much less game time. I think for me, he's one of Manchester United's better players. And I think in the midfield, he offers a lot more than what McTominay does. And he offers way more than what Fred did ever in his Man United career. So I think Amrabat has still got a lot to prove, a lot to show in a Man United shirt. I just don't think he's been given the game time. And I feel sorry for the guy because it must feel really, really soul-destroying when you've come to a club that you've held out all summer long to move to. You've got the dream move of your career and you've come in and you're hardly kicking a ball. So I think for me, maybe just rotate the midfield a little bit and bring Amrabat in for McTominay would be the only change I would make, because if Amrabat can play the CDM role, maybe he can push Kobe Manu a bit more forward to support Bruno Fernandes with the front three, because I think Fernandes will find it difficult as well because he knows he ain't going to have Rashford there, which is a big blow for us because obviously got back amongst the goals yesterday. And Bruno Fernandes, like he said yesterday, Marcus Rashford needed that goal. He needed the confidence that he was going to put the ball into the back of the net. And I think for me, without Rashford Wednesday, it could be difficult because you then are going to have a really inexperienced front three trying to go to Turkey to win. And I'm not saying that, taking any away from Garnacho, yes, that goal, the amount of times I've rewatched it on repeat, for me, it's goal of the year. It's goal of the century. It's got to get the Puskas Goal of the Year award. It is just an absolutely phenomenal world-class goal. No one's going to score a better goal than that this season. And there's still many people absolutely pissed off that Garnacho has scored the goal he scored. And I'm not taking it away from the world-class ability he showed to score that goal in the first place. But I think for me, you haven't really got anyone experienced to lead that line if you haven't got Rashford and then you haven't got Rasmus. If this hamstring injury is still bad Wednesday, there's no way Ten Hag is going to risk putting an injured striker in who is not fully 100% fit to start because, again, you wonder who's going to be able to come off that bench if you haven't got Rasmus or Rashford. Then you're going to have to face facts that Martial is going to get a lot more game time than what we want. I know that ain't the answer for me. I think I really, really struggle to see what Martial offers this club going forward. But I think for me, if you've got to start anyone, Martial will probably have to start ahead of anyone due to the injuries and the suspensions we've got. So it's not helping Ten Hag that we haven't got goal scorers to help Rasmus. And he called that out in the summer, that he needed a second striker to go with Højlund. And if Man United would have delivered Kane and Højlund, look at the front line we could have had. Look at the team front three we could have had. We don't have that. We don't have the goals in this team. So it's going to be a really, really difficult game for United Wednesday because obviously I think Garnacho will start. I think the quality he showed yesterday, he absolutely deserves another start again Wednesday. And I know I've been critical of Garnacho and at times he really does frustrate me because he's trying to be the next Ronaldo. And he has got the skill and he's got the ability to do it. Absolutely. He's got the world at his feet. But he's still very young. He's still trying to develop his game and he's still trying to improve. And I do get that. But I just worry a little bit long term that if he goes back to being a frustrated player again Wednesday, United are going to really struggle to find goals. But I think that goal yesterday will do Alejandro Garnacho the world of confidence now to take his game up to the next level, where he might start finding the ball. He might find the ball going into the back of the net a little bit more. So I think that goal will do a lot of justice. And I think for me, again, also, like, if Martial has to start down the middle, it is what it is. We're going to have to face that Martial is going to get a lot more game time than what we all want to. But we're going to have to, because, Rashford's going to be a big miss. I think that goal yesterday will help reincarnate Marcus Rashford's goal scoring form from last season. And I hope that goal does. But I'm not guaranteeing anything's going to happen with Marcus Rashford at all. I'm not going to guarantee anything's going to be as straightforward as what people think, but I'm hoping that goal will turn Marcus Rashford's form around. And then I'm hoping also that, Anthony becomes available again Wednesday. I think, Anthony, it's not been the season that, Anthony really, really wanted. And I think, 85 million has gone. I think the 85 million has gone down the drain. And I think for me, at the end of the day, I think maybe this is coming back to bite Man United hard on the ass cheeks, and that bite is still very, very visible. But obviously, again, yesterday, Anthony out with injury, and if that muscle problem is a big, big issue Wednesday and he ain't available, then that is no Anthony, that is no Rashford, and that is no Højlund. I'm hoping Højlund and Anthony are going to be available. I'm hoping and praying they're all going to be available, but I think time will tell if they're going to be. Will Ten Hag rush them back in? I don't think Ten Hag likes to take any risks, and I think we've seen that plenty of times this season, that when certain players haven't been fit to start or play a full 90 minutes or a full 45, Ten Hag doesn't like to take risks, and I completely justify that. But I think really you need to be playing your best team. So, like I said, I'm hoping Rasmus will be available Wednesday, and so for Anthony as well. But if they're not, then, like I said, Martial will probably start, and they'll be playing down the middle with Garnacho on the left. And then on the right, you're then stuck with an option that, people hype up more than a train. People hype up that he's going to be the next big thing and that he's absolutely a phenomenal, phenomenal player in Pellistri. I know he had a good cameo yesterday, and I get that. But I think long-term, again, that I don't think Pellistri is the answer to Man United's right-wing problems. Like, I don't see a player in there that is going to offer Man United a lot going forward. Can he score any goals? No, he had one decent shot on goal, which really should have gone in. It could have absolutely smashed that past Pickford, and that could have become 4. And he could have got his first goal for United yesterday. And that's what frustrates me with Pellistri. I just don't rate the guy. Like, it's not his fault he's in this situation. This is, again, down to Solskjaer bringing in a very inexperienced winger that has got no clue how to adapt to the English game. And I think for me, European-wise, he's not going to offer Man United a lot going forward. And that is a big concern for me Wednesday, because can he really put a ball into the box or create much threat of the pace that apparently Pellistri has in a bag full? I just think all this hype is absolutely unjustified. I just don't think, for me, this is an option long-term that Man United can be safe with. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's correct. I think we need better than Pellistri. We need to really look at the options we've got. Like, it would have been nice to have Sancho available, but again, still hasn't apologised to the players or the squad, hasn't apologised to Ten Hag, doesn't look like he's ever going to play for Manchester United again. So it looks like that is going to be the end of Jadon Sancho's time at Manchester United. So you are basically stuck with Pellistri if you've got no Anthony and Rashford, and you ain't got no Højlund. So the front three could very much contain all three of Martial, Pellistri and Garnacho. And I think if that's the line going forward for Wednesday, it does concern me. Like, it really, really does bloody concern me that, again, like, where are the goals going to come from? That's my problem. Like I said, that goal for Garnacho is going to do in the world of good. I hope Martial can start finding the back of the net a little bit more. But I think United could have major problems finding the back of the net, because I wouldn't trust those three long term if that was my view, and that's my opinion. I wouldn't trust those three players long term going forward that are going to be the answer to Man United's problems. And I personally think this could really, really backfire in Man United's face Wednesday. If we go into the game 0-0 at half time, or Man United can maybe find a lucky 1 or 2-0 lead to go in at half time, it might be okay. Might get across the finish line and we might win the game. But at the end of the day, United have got a job to do and they can't be focusing on all their problems. The injuries are no excuses. Man United have still got a set of players in the squad available to Ten Hag to win the game. And I think these players will start producing now. Obviously, maybe Ten Hag's taken off the bit of the ruthlessness approach. And I think maybe that is why we played very well yesterday. But I just think long term that, Ten Hag needs backing probably to, get a much better squad. I think Man United are a better team without McTominay, Maguire, Lindelof, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Tom Heaton, Bandia, McTominay, Rashford, Martial, Pellistri, Anthony, Sancho. I think United are going to have to do, something big in January, because if we can get through to the knockouts and we do win on Wednesday night and then we beat Bayern Munich, then United are going to need a lot more reinforcements for the knockouts, because the knockouts is not going to be easy. Because if you finish second, we've then got the hefty possibility of facing either Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona. You can't play Arsenal, can't play Man City because they're both in the same league and the same country. Would you really expect Man United to go to Real Madrid and win? Would you expect Man United to beat Barcelona? Would you expect Man United to beat Inter Milan? There's a lot more questions and answers from this squad that need answering by putting in a good performance again. And I think these players have got it in them now. I think the result yesterday has done them the world of good, because they're going to look at their last 6 games and think, well, we've only lost once. We've won 5 out of the last 6. That's pretty good. This wasn't looking likely a few weeks ago, where United were on the floor, out the Carabao Cup, destroyed by Man City, and, top 4 potentially gone. And you're basically trying to turn the Champions League campaign around, even though you're bottom of the group. And then you also maybe got to try and win the FA Cup. And I think what could happen here, we get through to the knockouts. We then get knocked out the last 16. We get top 4, win the FA Cup. Would I take that where we are now? I think I'd have to. I think I would have to take that where we are now. And I think people say that is still not really a great season. You don't want to be battling for top 4 every season. You need to be winning the league. You can't keep finishing 3rd or 4th. And I get that. I really do. But with the stage we are in of this season and the way we are, and the inconsistency is still much very there in some of the performances, I would have to take that over nothing. Because if you take nothing and you don't win a trophy, you don't get top 4 and don't win the FA Cup, what can you say has been good about this season? What can you say has been great? That's my big point. What can you say has been great about this season? I wouldn't say a lot. I'd say it's been shit. And I would say it's been shit. I would say it's been a very bad season. Ten Hag has not been back properly. The summer transfer window, again, was still a massive joke. And even when we got Sabitzer, Jack Butland and bloody Weghorst in January, that was a big enough of a joke. And look how much this has badly paid off in the summer. They've done exactly what they did in January, and they did it to Ten Hag in the summer. Didn't get Harry Kane, didn't get Osman, didn't get Kim and Jae. Imagine you've had all those 3 available for you at Man United, and you're the manager, and you've got Osman, Kane, and Kim and Jae. Maguire's gone, McTominay's gone, Martial's gone. Frimpong's been brought in at right back. Lindelof's gone, Wan-Bissaka's gone, Dalot's gone. You brought in the number 1 goalkeeper that Ten Hag wanted, which wasn't Onana. He wanted Jordan Pickford. I honestly think Manchester United would be in a better shape. I honestly think we would be. But that ain't on me. That ain't on Ten Hag. The fans and supporters have got every bloody right to criticise and moan about it, because that, again, is down to the ownership. I think if Harry Kane and Osman were in that team and we had a decent winger and Pellistri and Ahmad was sent out on loan, Anthony was sold, Sancho was sold, you would have had Rashford, Garnacho and Kane as your front 3, or Kane, Osman, Rashford as your front 3. That would be quality. And if you had that in the Champions League, we might have won this group. But we are where we are. We're battling we are battling to save ourselves. And I'm hoping we will produce what we did yesterday. If we can show that again on Wednesday, it's going to be a comfortable night. But nothing is ever comfortable watching Manchester United. It's always the ways of we always get squeaky bum time. Got more squeaky than the mouse from bloody Simpsons. honestly, we get more squeaky bum time than a door that has not been oiled for weeks and it is squeaking like a bitch. So, I'm hoping Man United deliver again on Wednesday. And if you can make it 6 wins from 7, you then head into the weekend thinking the confidence is there. We're putting the ball into the back of net a bit more. We're a bit more consistent now. We are showing the results. We are turning things around. If you can then beat Galatasaray, Newcastle, you've then got Chelsea, and the way they got dismantled by fucking Newcastle is embarrassing. I mean, that should be a home banker anyway. We will beat Chelsea the way we're playing. That would be 9 games and you've only lost once. I mean, 8 wins and a defeat. I mean, that is not something to be sneezed at. That is a massive turnaround. And maybe Ten Hag has taken off the ruthless approach a little bit. Maybe he's not been so, I don't know, maybe he's not been so critical, or maybe he's taken the anger off a little bit off these players and tried to inspire them into, criticize them, but pinpoint how to improve. Maybe that is why we played well yesterday. Maybe, and there's a lot of people saying that, even Ben Foster, ex-Man United and Wrexham reject, saying, it's still papering over the cracks. There's a lot of false hope still from that result. Man United didn't play very well. I mean, I don't know why Ben Foster is so negative about Man United. Like, he never won a Premier League title. He never won a European Cup. Never won the FA Cup. Never won the Carabao Cup with us. So I can't get Ben Foster's comments. Like, it was a very false performance. I mean, I just don't get the comments. I think Ben Foster's just jealous that United all of a sudden are doing well again, and he doesn't like it. And I think for me, that is simple jealousy from a player that didn't have much in his career, and he's had to retire from playing with Wrexham. So at the end of the day, I would absolutely just watch what you're saying, Ben, and get on with your pundits and your little YouTube little career that you're trying to achieve, because a lot of it you're not going to achieve a lot. So I think Ben Foster's got no right making the comments he's made this morning. I don't agree with it. Like, I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's justified. I think United at the moment are playing very well. 5 wins from 6. I mean, I would have taken that. So I think United will carry on. I think United, it's going to be a next few good weeks. If you can beat Galatasaray, you beat Newcastle, and then you beat Chelsea. I mean, you've played 9 games and you've won 8 and lost 1. I mean, a lot of people are saying that is not going to happen. I'm a lot more confident now. I really am a lot more confident, and I'm expecting those players again to produce. And I think if we can keep doing it, United are going to be on the upward step of returning this season around, and I think it will be a good one. That is what I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one, but you can never be too sure where Man United are going to play. So I'm not saying this game on Wednesday is going to be an away banker and it's going to be a big win, but I think United can win by 3 or 4 goals again with the way we are playing at the moment. I think we can do it. I really think we'll get out this group. I think we'll turn it around. I think we'll qualify for the knockouts, and that is what I'm hoping for. That is what I'm hoping for. But nothing's ever guaranteed in life. So all I can say is, let's see what happens on Wednesday. Let's see the team 10 Hag goes with, and let's hope we can win again. Yeah, let's hope we can win again. I'm expecting these players to do it. And for me, I'm going to go for 3 or 4-0 Man United again. I think the way we scored yesterday and the way we put the ball into the back of net quite comfortably, if they can do that on Wednesday, United are going to have a very, very good night Wednesday. But let's see what happens. I'm going to go for 3 or 4-0 Man United. Let me hear your views, your thoughts, your opinions, your score prediction, your lineup, and let's see what happens on Wednesday night against Galatasaray in the Champions League. So, going to leave it there. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to put that notification bell on as well at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout these last few weeks in 2023 on United Red Devils 20. We've got more Fortnite, more Rocket League. Fall Guys is back. F1 23 is back. We've got more previews, more match reactions. We've got few Christmas content bits coming up in December as well. Coming up on the channel, we've got more previews, more match reactions, and then obviously join me for the reaction Wednesday night between Galatasaray and Man United. Hopefully we can keep winning. Hopefully we can make it 6 wins in 7. Hopefully we can turn this group around, and hopefully Bayern Munich can do us a favour by beating FC Copenhagen, but we can't rely on them. We've got to think about ourselves here, and let's hope United get the job done. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll speak to you guys soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.